This is a Cloud Defensive, and this is a Modlite. But this is $50. More candela, more lumens, but way less money. Can this from China light beat these two American giants? Let's find out. Alright, we're going to be doing some torture testing here to start things off. I'm going to dunk this in a bucket of water for 30 minutes, make sure the IP rating is what it says it is, and then we're going to drop it a couple of times from chest height and head height just to make sure that it won't break immediately. Alright, the timer just went off. As you can see, it's still working no problem. So now we'll move on to the drop test. Alright, it survived the water test no problem. As you can see, I can scroll through all three of my modes. And now we're going to drop it. So starting on the low mode here from waist height. Still works. Side. Still works. From the head. Well. Still works. Still work. Scrolls through all the modes. All it took was a little bit of superficial damage, and that was it. Still works, no problem. Alright, let's talk stats real quick here. I'm going to throw up the stats for each of them over the top of them real quick, so if you want to pause it and check out the stats for all of them, or you could just trust me, but I'm not going to talk about every single one of the stats. So there's the stats, and we're moving on. Okay, so we're going to talk about the Cloud Defensive first. So this guy's got 1700 lumens and 40,000 candela. Pretty good, about 400 meter throw. What is notable is that it has a 5000 K color temperature. So you're going to get that more true to color when you're shining this light on things. As opposed to, we have the XT35, this has a 6000 K color temperature, so it's more of that like daylight bright white. They compare the Cloud Defensive to like incandescent, like old school, and a lot of people like that warmer color temperature. They all run on 18650 batteries, so there's nothing new there. They're all like IPX8 or a better. Survived the waterproof test and no problem. And I'm not going to test, as I've said before, the Cloud Defensive or the Modlite. They have both proven themselves time and time again. Go watch other videos on them if you want to see that stuff. These things are American-made tanks. They are awesome. They do really well. That's what they're built for. That's their build quality. They're all about the same size, as you can see. So nothing new there. But we'll go into the Modlite here, which lumens 1350 and candela 54,000. So 465-ish meters is going to be the throw on that one. So again, pretty good, pretty impressive. Handheld thrower. It's a tactical light for sure. It's got enough. I kind of consider anything 400 and above or 350 and above, you're getting really into that tactical threshold there. So it has a 5700 K color temperature, so a little bit warmer than the XT35. Again, it's got an 18650 in it. The main difference being here that the Cloud Defensive is about $220 price-wise, and you can get the Modlite. I think MSRP on this one is $350, which to me is mind-blowing. We didn't pay $300. I should say my dad did not pay $350 for that. He got a really good deal. Still, you're looking at the 1700 lumens to the 1350 lumens, and then we get finally to the man in question, the XT35, the flashlight in question, and this thing is a powerhouse. I can't lie. So it has the luminous SFT40 emitter. We know it does. It's got an 1800 lumens on high, I have the 3-mode one again, so it's 1800 lumens, medium is 750, and low is 50, which I think is great. You can get the constant high one, which is super cool too. But the thing is you can't change it. That's what it is. That's what you get. But this is boasting 110,000 candela, which is wild. 666 meters of throw, and a 6,000 K color temperature. So it does have a brighter white, but usually if you want more throw, you have to have that brighter white. So this thing just, I mean, it really throws, and you're going to see when we take it outside, it does one heck of a job. So it boils down to price again. You're paying $50 for this one. You already know that. It's coming from China. And these guys are both American-made tanks, like I've said before. So to me, this is a battle of quality. And I think with the testing, you can see that even some lights from China, they're fine. Like, you know, China does have cheap steel, cheap aluminum, cheap manufacturing because it's, you know, there's a lot of factors to that, but they can pump out decent products. All stuff from China isn't absolute garbage, and I think it proves it with lights like this, and you'll find it in knives and stuff like that as well, that they can make pretty decent products. And yeah, I boast this one because it works. So now we're going to do some testing with photonic barriers. So I'm going to have a car that's like probably 30 meters away from me, and I'm going to have its headlights on. It's going to be dark and shining right at me, and then I have to beat the photonic barrier, i.e. the headlights that are shining at me, and I have to see if I can see the person that will be next to the car or see into the interior of the car. So it gives you a good idea of how much the, you know, candela and the CRI and the color temperature and all that stuff actually factors into seeing stuff through photonic barriers. So let's check that out. Okay, we've got our vehicle over there with the LED headlights on, and we're going to start with the Modlite here. So we'll see what we see. So you can see, punches through the photonic barrier, you can see what's in his hand. Moving on to the Cloud Defensive. So this is the Cloud on the low. You can barely see him. Then we put Cloud on the high, and you can really make him out really good. You can see into the car, see the headrests, and see what's in his hand. Now for the final light, we're going to do the Amutorch, the China light. See how it does? And there it is. This thing has definitely got some really good candela. It's punching into that car really well. You can make him out really well. The CRI color is not, you know, the best, but it's definitely about 6,000, I would say, and like it advertises, and you can really see him pretty well. So there you go, candela for the win. All right, now we got our high beams on. We're just going to do a speed round here, starting with the Modlite. So there you go. We can see we definitely have some more splashes. Really hard to see in the interior of the car, and you can make out the subject over there. We're going to move on to the Cloud Defensive next. There's the low. You can pretty much barely see him, and then high, you can start to see him, but it's really hard to see inside the car now. And then finally, the Amutorch. And there you go. You can still see into the interior of the car a little bit, and you can make him out pretty good and make out what he's holding there pretty good too. Now we're going to be trying to look through the tint on that very same car that we were just using. It is 18% tint. We're going to try and see if we can locate maybe a hidden object inside the car. And this is just going to show you what that candela is doing, what the lumens are doing, what the CRI, color temperature, all that stuff, and how it affects looking through tinted windows specifically. So this one's a little more tailored to the law enforcement side of things, but it does give you a good idea what these lights are capable of. All right, we're going to start with the Modlite, see if you guys can find the hidden object inside here. Searching the car. Oh, what's that? Yeah, this penetrates through pretty good. As you can see, if I get close here and shine right on it, I would miss it, but if I move this way, I can see it right there. Now moving on to the Cloud Defensive. This is the low on the Cloud, and there's the high. And that punches through really good. I think slightly better than the Modlite maybe. But you can see it really good once I put that hotspot on it. But again, if I cover it, you're going to totally miss it, and you can barely see in, so you really got to get the angles. But there it is. Then finally the China light. Super bright. Definitely can see the color difference, the color temperature difference in the light. Sorry about the cars driving by. But yeah, I'll cover it right up just like that, but it punches in real good. If I get down here, you can see all the way to the driver's side. Yeah, they all do a pretty good job. Not a huge noticeable difference between the three, but this one definitely has a lot of splashback from the initial hit on the window. So I definitely have to move it around so I can see the weapon. We're out in the usual spot in the yard. Trees are about 80-90 meters away. We're going to start with the Modlite. So there we go. As you can see, a really good spot. This thing is definitely candela heavy, but gives a decent flood. I'm lighting up the side of the house, side of the shed here. You can definitely see the bottom of the ring here when I'm up on the trees. Modlite only has this one mode. That's it. It's got all of its candela and it dumps all of it out at once. Which is pretty good. You saw the runtime test. Runtime test was pretty good with it. Second in that. So, yeah, pretty good, man. I mean, you're really making out what's in these trees. You can see the trunks of the trees through the leaves really well. So that's really good. Moving on to the Cloud Defensive, it has two modes. So this is its first or low mode. And you can see definitely pretty dim. But quickly moving into the high mode, it definitely has a bigger spot than the Modlite. I'm lighting up kind of almost 3/4 of the tree back there. Here's the up close tree there, but there's that 80-90 meter tree back there, and it's definitely lighting up more of it than it was with the Mod. The Mod's got that tighter spot on it, but has a decent spill. Probably about the same, maybe just a little more than the Modlite. But let's see what that China light can do. Finally, the Amutorch light, $50 buys you that. Sorry, that is the low mode. But look at the color difference just between the two. It looks blue now to me. Now that I'm here in person, that's the low. That's the medium. Already has a good spot, and that's the high. I mean, the candela, you can't deny it. This thing has a mean spot on it. Definitely tighter than the Cloud Defensives, and maybe a little larger than Modlites. I'll throw them side by side here for a second just to see what looks tighter. They're about the same, I would say, but look at the color difference between the two. But yeah, you really have really good candela. You're really getting some pretty good detail in those trees and reading between the leaves there. So yeah, this thing's awesome, but as you saw, it gets hot and it's already starting to warm up in my hand. Nothing unbearable, but it's only going to get hotter and hotter and hotter. So just got to be careful with that. But honestly, for 50 bucks, that's a heck of a lot of throw and pretty decent spill. Just a little color temperature difference, you know? Okay, we are at the shed, and let's see what the Modlite looks like. So there's the Modlite. Definitely gives you enough light to see the corner down here, which is nice. You can see the spot pretty tight. But good, yeah, I'm gonna light up this whole shed. I mean, looking at it in real life, it's a little bit different than on camera, and I can see everything I need to see, and you're definitely gonna see all the detail and everything you need. So tons of candela, looks good. Here's the cloud on the low mode, and it gives you a pretty decent amount of light. That's not too bad. And there's the high mode, and this is where you can really see that color temperature. At least I can in person. Definitely warmer, definitely better CRI with it, which is really awesome. So it looks super crisp, clean, natural when I'm looking at it. So this light temperature is awesome, and definitely has a bigger spot, which is kind of nice actually if you're close quarters and you need it to illuminate more of what you're looking for, you know, whatever it is. So that's kind of cool. And finally, the Amutorch. There's the low mode. And yeah, just going from the Cloud Defensive to the Amutorch, the color temperature difference is very noticeable. There's the medium, nice tight spot, which is awesome. And then there's the high. And yeah, you're getting daylight, bright white coming out of it. Not saying things look totally unnatural, but they definitely don't look necessarily true to color, like I was seeing with the Cloud Defensive and even the Modlite a little bit more. So, but yeah, I mean, you're getting a good spot. It's a very tight spot. So this one is definitely more for throwing, less for the CQB portion of things. All right, that's it. What do you guys think? Do you think the XT35 is worth it? Is this worth the 50 bucks? Or should you go up in price and go with a Cloud Defensive, or up a little even more in price and go with the Modlite? I don't know. I think that they're kind of all worth their salt. So this is my opinion, but I'd say if you have the money and you're in law enforcement, you know, in firefighting, in, you know, the military, something like that, spend the money and get something really good. Because what I can tell you is, obviously you saw in the video, the heat thing was crazy with this. That getting super hot, if you needed to use it for a really extended period of time, it's not really viable. Short periods of time, fantastic. I think it's great. But these have those awesome heat sinks, and they have the great, you know, technology in them to basically lower their lumens and candela, or just lower the output of the light in general, so that it doesn't get super hot. So I think that's super cool. And honestly, the build quality, the feel of these, just putting the threads on, taking things off, the general feel of the Modlite especially is just really high quality. I mean, American made, awesome. I love that. So the Cloud and the Modlite are definitely worth it. But I would say if you don't have a lot of money, you want a cool tactical light, you're not going to use it for some crazy extended period of time, get the XT35. This thing is great. You saw how much candela it has, how much punch it has. You saw it light up the tree, you know, light up into the car. It does a really good job. Just don't burn your hand off, please. I'm telling you, that was crazy. I've never seen a light get to 153 degrees or whatever it was, right? That was pretty wild. So just be smart about it, but I'd say this is worth it. But you definitely understand that you are getting what you're paying for when you're buying the Modlite and the Cloud Defensive. They are great companies. They are great lights. They do a really good job. But China, you know, China, they make some pretty good stuff too. Maybe not as high quality, and you're throwing a little bit of risk in there, but you kind of always are when you're going with the cheaper options. So yeah, buy all three of them if you've got the money. What the heck, right? That's everything for me. I hope you liked the new testing. If I did anything you didn't like, please tell me. If I did stuff you did like, please tell me that too. Throw it in the comments. Please subscribe. It means everything to me. Cost you guys nothing except a few minutes maybe. Just go hit that subscribe button. It would really help me out. Appreciate you guys' time, and I'll see you on the next one.